You are listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
Khalen Saunders, as we're recording, just got reported that he signed a 3-year, $14.5 million deal with the New Orleans Saints. Matt, this one stings. He's one of my favorite players to cover my entire time around the Chiefs, covering from the Senior Bowl with his wife, girlfriend going into labor while he was down there. I remember covering that. I remember talking to him about that. I remember talking to him the night that he was drafted. About 10 minutes after he got off the phone with them, I was talking to him live, FaceTime, doing an interview. The exact kind of person that you want to cover, that you love covering in the NFL, that you root for. Glad he got some money. I'm glad that he's able to set his family up for how hard he worked and what he's been through, and just the way that he took care of everybody. But I'm kind of going through it right now, man, because this one stings a little bit. I love the dude. I'm happy for him, but I'm gonna miss seeing him in a Chiefs uniform.
Yeah, and I think the Chiefs are going to miss him as a player, not just the personality, which is infectious, and the sense of humor he brings to a locker room, but the athleticism. I mean, I don't have to remind you guys that in the Super Bowl, he was the only player to technically sack Jalen Hurts, and it was a great play where he's chasing him to the sideline, and you're thinking, how in the world is this defensive tackle running down Jalen Hurts? But he did, and so I think you're also going to miss that interior production. We were just talking before this news broke about how the Chiefs need those guys that can play 15, 20 snaps as a pass rusher, and that was something that he did really well. So it's getting a little thin at defensive tackle, BJ. I always start to think about that because so much of my job is team building and roster construction, and it's like, okay, who's going to replace those snaps? I know Tershawn Wharton, got hindered. He's obviously going to be in line for a much, much bigger role. But this is a spot now where there's a need here. And I don't know if it's a need at 31, like we talked about. This is not a great defensive tackle class at the top. But I think that's where they're going to have to use some of these, 11 or 12 draft picks to try to get a guy that can come in and at least be in the rotation early.
Yeah, and this is the situation the Chiefs are going to find themselves in with a lot of different young players they bring in. They draft in the third round. They develop them. They get really good, and they can't pay everybody. You got to trust the organization to make decisions that they think are best for them. Doesn't mean that it doesn't suck at times. This is one of those times for me that it just sucks because I selfishly love watching him again in the Chiefs uniform. But coming off the best year of his career, again, 48 tackles last year, 3.5 sacks during the regular season. And then you mentioned, this chasing Jalen Hurts out of bounds. I mean, that is exactly from a draft evaluation standpoint. When you talked about his athleticism coming out of Western Illinois, you talked about having some unique traits. That guy, for the way that he moved, the way that he moves, you saw it on that sack, and that is
right. There aren't many D tackles making that play, BJ. Like Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, and just in terms of pure athleticism, there aren't many dudes making that play.
Yeah, it's special to watch, rooting for him. I'll be down there with Honey Badger, a couple guys that I absolutely loved covering. So it should be fun for the Saints. And
he's still there?
Daniel Sorensen, and Tano Passigno, I believe, re-signed down there. So they've got
Kansas City South.
Yeah, I got a handful of guys down there that have familiar faces. But yeah, it's going to be fun to root for him and kind of follow his career throughout. But yeah, this one definitely stings.
Thanks for watching this production of KC Sports Network, the fastest growing sports media network in Kansas City. Check out these videos that feature our team of more than 15 former players, insiders, and analysts, bringing you the best Chiefs coverage you can find. Entertain, educate, inform. KC Sports Network.